Hello, I'm Liami, and today I'm going to teach you how to make habitable exoplanets in Universe Sandbox 2. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, obviously, is you want to get your simulation starting. So I typically like to have a black background just because it's easier to see stuff. So first, obviously, you want a star. So random main sequence star. Just make sure it's not. Random main sequence star. Make sure it's not too big, okay, or too small. How's that? Okay, that's pretty good. But so obviously, the first step to creating a habitable planet is to put it in the habitable zone. But one thing you probably know if you've tried to do this before is that when you click on an object, the rings scale down for some reason. Now, the reason, personally, I don't know, but basically you want the green part for the planets thing and the default one to line up or overlap it in at least some area and then put it in that area. So let's just say random rocky planet. Okay, first let's get some reference here. Okay, so about there. So we want these rings to be huge. Why they're getting smaller. Just keep looking for one. That might be the best we get, so let's put that there. Okay. Turn on orbits, and you can turn this off now. But, that already looks kind of Earth-like. In fact, that what is this? Oh, damn, that's water. Okay, well, I'm just gonna reset all of this real quickly, just to show you how to do it, in case yours does not look like this. Okay, now we have our rocky planet, and yeah, you probably want to click this button here to open up all these map menus. You don't need all of them, but some of them are useful to have, like surface temperature, liquid water depth, all that. Wait, why is there? That's millimeters, bro. Centimeters. Yeah, that's not very deep. That's like a couple meters, but I don't know what's going on there because there's no sea level. But anyway, this will probably look better if we there. Okay, so here's our rocky planet. You can name it whatever you want, but I'm just using the auto-generated name. So, this thing is a bit denser than Earth, and it's about 1.3 times the radius, so that's, I mean, it's not bad, but, okay, so assuming your planet looks like this, the first thing you want to do is, here, click this, and now you can see the actual tilt of your planet. So, this is something comparable to maybe Pluto or Uranus in our solar system. So this is a pretty extreme tilt. The more you tilt your planet's rotational axis, the more extreme seasons will be. That's where seasons come from on planets. That's why planets like Earth, Mars, and Saturn will have more extreme seasons than planets like Jupiter, Venus, or like Mercury. So the more extreme you want your seasons, the more extreme you make this tilt. Personally, I don't want very extreme seasons, so I'll put mine at around 10 degrees. Yeah. Also, orbital period, or not orbital period, rotational period. You don't want this to be very long. You usually want at least around 5 days to 0.3 days, because if you do that, you'll start to see a bit of a bulge here in the surface temperature. And that's because one side is getting exposed to the heat from its parent star for a lot longer than it really should be. So I'm gonna maybe half this, maybe half it twice there. Now that's spinning in, that's still not Earth fast, but it's about 76 hours. So, it's not as bad as it was before. Also, colors. we're making a habitable planet, but if you did want your own colors, you would go to base color and elevation, and then you could just pick this stuff, and you could even like change contrast and stuff. But yeah, so now it's the big key factor. So you want an atmosphere, obviously. So here you see, set it to Earth atmospheres because that's typically what you want more. So usually 0.8 to 8 is good, but like, so if we set this to 1, you can see now there's an atmosphere on it. And if we like see, now there's clouds, even though there's no water. That's weird, but anyway, sorry if you can hear my computer in the background. But this is ray light scattering, so like the color will become more apparent the lower that is. So, yeah, usually you can keep that at the natural level. Atmosphere opacity is also like, this would be like Venus and Titan levels, and this would be like Mars, and this would be like Earth. If you get what I'm saying. But like, yeah, you can also choose the color. So like this is more blue, this would be red, like, you know. But you can usually just do whatever you want, but typically it looks more Earth-like if it's blue. But yeah, right now we're going to turn that off, and we're also going to turn the clouds off. We'll mess with the clouds later. But obviously this does not look very Earth-like. This looks more like somebody took Triton and Mars and threw them at each other. So come over here to surface and scroll up from where we were, sea level, and you can basically just add water. Yeah. Now, before you do anything more with that, you're gonna want to turn up time and pay attention to the temperatures over here. And if they don't change that much, that means that you probably did good. You want them to like sort of stabilize somewhere. It looks like mine's stabilizing at 30 degrees, which is close to what it was already at. So that won't happen all the time. Usually if you want to do then is you either want to change the atmospheres, like, it's coming down here. Yeah. Infrared emissivity. That changes the greenhouse effect, which is basically how much heat is trapped inside the planet, heating it up. For example, like Venus has a really hot one, and that's a lot of that. And that's why it is so hot. It's hotter than Mercury. And Earth is also, that's what climate change is. That's how climate change is happening, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so make sure the temperature is stable and you'll be good. Motion. Yeah, okay. So anyway, now that you have this, you're gonna want to check if you did a good job with vegetation, if habitable, and boom. So it's possible for vegetation to exist on this planet, so that means it's doing good. But okay, now that you've done that and you don't need to like look at stuff anymore, I guess you can turn on the atmosphere and the clouds again. And now it's time to pay attention to the clouds. The clouds, you can customize them about as much as you want. Coverage is basically just how much of the planet they cover and like that sort of thing. And opacity is opacity. So sometimes the clouds rotate slower or faster than the planet itself, and you can usually just fix that by like typing in the rotational period into here and here. And you can also change what the clouds look like. So there's plenty of options. There's none. I'm just gonna set this one to none right now because it's not that visible. But like, yeah, fluffy, thick. Typically, if you have a very turbulent planet, storm, and Jesus Christ, that's huge. Anyway, and thick are good options. Wispy is what I compare to Earth. Turbulent is also pretty stormy. It's sort of like, well, that's a hurricane, but yeah, you get it. Sparse is what sparse, thin is thin, and streaked. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I think I'll probably just go with fluffy as well. And here we'll do thick. This one is like the very close clouds and very thin clouds, so you can't see it as much, but like it definitely adds an effect. Okay, so now you have the planet ready. All habitable planets, they should have a moon. They don't need to have, they should have one major moon rather. Mars has 2 minor moons, Phobos and Deimos. They're really small. Look at that thing. You can barely see that. And like our moon is much bigger than that. So typically you want a moon about the quarter the size of a planet and orbiting from around 100,000 kilometers away to 400,000 kilometers away, because in the real world that would give it the planet tides and like stabilize its axial tilt and stuff. And even for sandbox, it doesn't make a difference. It just makes the sky look pretty. But for more realism, it would probably be better to add a major moon or 2. And you can add more minor moons. Just make sure you have 1 major moon. So, random moon. I'll do that thing, I guess. We'll put it right here. What the hell? That looks like Earth. What the what? Okay. Usually that is actually very cool. Anyway. Wait, can I? Oh my god. They're twins. Yo. I'm getting distracted, sorry. It would be more realistic for the moon too to be tidally locked. So you can just scroll down here and click tidally lock, and then basically the same side of the moon will always face the planet, like our moon does, or almost every other moon in the solar system. Yeah, this is really cool. Yeah, that's awesome that I just did that. But anyway, also run it for a while to make sure that the moon is inside the Roche limit of the planet, and it doesn't like tear itself apart. But if it isn't, which I mean, it's really close to the planet, so it should be anyway. But yeah, it's fine. You can also land on the planet by hitting C, and you can look up in the night sky and see what it looks like. So that's pretty big in the sky. That's also really cool to just see, like an Earth-like moon. But yeah, okay. So now sorry about that. Okay, so now you have your moon, and there's really just one last thing you want to do, and that's to see if your planet could support a teeming population. Set that to if habitable under city lights, and then turn it on, and see that? That's an intelligent species. So yeah, that's how you make a Earth-like habitable planet. And you can even see like the aerial map of it over here. So that's what its map would look like. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Actually, you know what? We could even add city lights over on this thing. Boom. The moon has cities on it, and they're aliens. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's how you do it. You could add more moons if you want, or you could even add rings to the planet. I mean, rings would hinder life at the equator, but I mean, they could still survive. This planet is also orbiting relatively close to its star compared to Earth. That's because the planet, or this star, is like half the size of the sun and 3/4 its mass, so it's not as hot. But yeah, this star, just give you an idea, this star is like half the size of the sun. It's like, yeah, or compared to Jupiter, Jupiter's almost as big as it, or even Earth. It's comparable, but yeah. Well, yeah. So that was how to make a basically alien life in Universe Sandbox 2. Thank you for watching, and yeah, have a good day.